I could have not had any kind of saving at all, but that would not have been good for me because I had a lot of music files, which I did lose in one point. I'll give you a true life story. There was a hard drive that I did have a couple years ago, and I had a backup of about maybe 800 to 1,000 songs, give or take, on a DVD somewhere. I just kind of backed it up just to put it for safekeeping. Not like it was that important, but I just did it anyway. Now, there was a hard drive that I had that got corrupted. Now, I learned this about partitioning my drives as well. Now, for anybody who knows anything about hard drive and setting up the hard drive before you install the operating system, partitioning a hard drive is an important thing, and I'll tell you why. Now, this one particular drive was about maybe 200 gigs, I believe it was. All right, so I had one big, huge drive, and I had, of course, a separate folders. Now, that hard drive failed, or rather, let me say it better, Windows failed. Okay. Now, in the process of having to reinstall Windows, the actual partition got corrupted beforehand, so I had to pretty much redo the entire drive. Now, to redo the entire drive, that means you lose everything from A to Z. Everything inside there. So, basically, needless to say, I lost every program, every download, every piece of music I had, every photo I had. Every single thing on that drive was gone. So I had to start from scratch. Then I learned about partitioning and pretty much separating the size of the drive and so forth. So I got that taken care of, which is great. Now, even the second part of that drive might fail because I've had a hard drive fail where the hard drive just said, I quit. It didn't want to work anymore. So therefore I lost, whatever was on both sides of the drive. The C drive that had the operating system and programs, and then the secondary side with the files, folders, music, photo, whatever it might be. That was lost as well. So I learned the hard way that I should have a backup of whatever's important to me. Excuse me. So, having learned that the hard way, I do recommend it to everybody, and I mean you too. I recommend that you take that hard drive or take your files on your hard drive, make sure you back it up to an external, at least an external drive or a CD or DVD, depending upon the size and how much, of course. DVDs are best, of course, if you can get a dual layer, which is about 9 gigs worth of space. That's a very good size if you have a dual layer burner. 4.5 standard DVD, DVRW preferably, so this way you can write and rewrite and not have to have 10 different DVDs over a period of 10 months if you back it up once a month. Something like that is going to help you out in the future for those important files at least. Businesses, of course, you know how important it is to have a backup. You make a carbon copy and put it into archiving. Same principle. This is archiving your important files and folders and documents, pictures, music, and so forth. So, having said all that, I do want to hear from you. I do want to know what you think. I want to know if you pretty much think it's important to back up. And if you don't think it's important to back up, why not? Okay. Now, there are some options out there that you can actually do backup to what we call a cloud in the sky. And what that basically is a service provider that might give you, say, 5 gigs for free. It's a little bit of space, nothing really to write home about, but it's a pretty good amount of space for some people who have a couple of documents or a whole list of PDFs or Word documents or Excel documents that are very small that you can kind of build up on and keep as a backup to access from the web any way you want. So in case you're on that business trip and you need to all of a sudden get access to a document you have on your desktop or your laptop, which is nowhere near accessible to you, you can still get on the internet, go to that site, that cloud in the sky, and access that file at that particular time. Modify it if necessary and push it back up to that. So when you get back home into your office, you can kind of reload or re-pull down that new updated version if that's the case. Okay. Now the cloud in the sky kind of services is great too because guess what? You don't have to manage it. All you have to do is say, hey, synchronize it, once a week, once a month, or when a file is changed, whatever the kind of features that service provider has for you. Now, the good thing about that is that it's free, you don't have to manage it, and you can access it from anywhere. Now, the not so good thing is that depending upon your upload speed and also how much you want to upload, the first time will take a long time. A long time. And I mean that because it's using the internet upload speed. Now, your download speed is going to be faster from any typical provider, be it Wi-Fi in a public place or at your own private residence or business, but your upload speed is maybe about a quarter or so the speed of your download speed in most cases. Now, that might be a big thing, it might not be a big thing. If you got some large video files, let's say if you record a lot of videos and you want to upload it for archiving for family or business related, that upload is going to take a long time. The download might not take so bad, but the upload will. So there's pluses and minuses of all of this. Now, the biggest plus is you don't have to manage it. You don't have to worry about if it fails. But also, if it does fail, how will you know? You know, they're using the same type of hardware for most parts to store your data. So it's going to be the same kind of equipment, not exactly the same, of course, not the same hard drive space, but the same physical hard drive stuff. If they have a catastrophe for whatever reason, a surge, a storm, a flood, things like that, it is still susceptible to those type of things. Now, the chances of it happening, very thin, of course, but still it is always possible. So just be aware that you have more than one option. You have more than one way to do it. You can do it yourself for free or buy your own equipment or use the internet by itself. Now, you can do also the internet and also your own hard drive and also your own hardware. But just remember, you want to know what you want to back up. At least having one backup is good. Having two backups is great, but I don't know how bad it might be if you lose a couple of photos from here or there. But if you want to really protect it, make sure you archive it at least twice, primarily once if you can. If that's a good thing, you can definitely do it very well. Now, I do want you to give me some feedback. Let me know how you think of the content we've provided for you here today. And I want you to email me at trimtechcomputers@gmail.com. That's trimtechcomputers@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for watching and look forward to talking to you soon. Let me know what you want to talk about for the next show. Thanks. Have a good one.